Did you know that 75% of all businesses actually believe that they can do better with more financing? And are you aware that only 42% of all applications actually succeed? Now, there are only 24% of businesses enjoying financing at any one time. This is DM Tanki on Business and Money, your authoritative wealth companion. Welcome to the show.
Business and money, we are all about your business. Business and money, weka pesa mfukoni, ukitaka kumake dough and financial freedom, ukitaka mawaidha, biashara inawiri. This is Business and Money.
Coming up on Business and Money.
You've often heard that Kenyans are a now kind of people. And actually, this is what puts us in great financial mess.
I had a CRB rating. Now CRB yenyewe, it was because I had borrowed 500, of which I got sick. I was not able to pay.
So the first thing is to separate the business from the family.
Okay.
Because otherwise, when you have them merged like that, people can take advantage of that situation.
I think the important thing is that relationship you have with your bank. It is so critical.
Okay.
Don't come pick a loan and then go.
The Financial Sector Deepening Kenya, FSDK, a World Bank initiative supported by the Central Bank of Kenya, estimated that banks' SMEs lending portfolio is at 233 billion Kenya shillings. This is equivalent to 23.4% of the total loan portfolio, which is more than Nigeria, which is at 5%, South Africa at 8%, Tanzania at 14%, and Rwanda at 17%.
You've often heard that Kenyans are a now kind of people. And actually, this is what puts us in great financial mess. Now, we went to the ground to find out the challenges that Kenyans are facing and whether they have sought financing and if ever they found it. This is what they had to say.
Tunafanya business ya electricals, tunauza lights, wires na appliances zote za stima.
Nafanya kazi ya hoteli.
Biashara yangu ni gym instructor, fitness instructor.
Nilikuwa nimeandikwa. Kwa hivyo nilikuwa na some savings. Hiyo savings ndio nilikuja nikaanza nayo.
This business was financed by savings from a construction company. Then we expanded to Timau Interiors.
Nilianza hii biashara na around 300,000, so tukaongezewa around 600,000 na family businesses.
Hii business mpya nimekuwa nikishughulikia venye naweza pata loan.
Loan nishaichukua na haikuwa rahisi kwa sababu unajua ukianza biashara hauna mambo mingi.
Tumejaribu kuapply loans, although inakawia na take time
na wanakuitisha collateral, zingine wanataka title, wanataka logbook.
I had a CRB rating. Now CRB yenyewe, it was because I had borrowed 500, of which I got sick. I was not able to pay. And now I'm struggling because of the CRB. I can't get money.
Mimi siwezi chukua loan. Juu hizo story nimesikia vile watu wanateseka kuzilipa na vile interest rate yao iko high. Auctioneers pia wanaweza chukua mali yako usipolipa.
Loan ilinisaidia sana kwa sababu iliniwezesha kununua vitu ambavyo sikuwa navyo.
Sikupata ugumu kwa hiyo kuchukua hiyo loan. Nilikuwa nachukua at least na nalipa. Sasa ikapata limit kenda ikipanda. Lakini nilikuwa ngijaribu nilipe mapema ndio nisikose kupatiwa loan tena.
I'll take a loan, yes, but it all depends with the terms and conditions, especially the percentage. The duration of the loan also matters. It also depends from where, because I wouldn't just take a loan from anyone.
This is Business and Money.
You've heard it for yourself. There are those who went out looking for financing and actually succeeded because they had what was needed. And then there are those that sought for the money and couldn't qualify because of lack of security or collateral. But then there is a third category of people who couldn't qualify because they were on CRB or they couldn't make it in the first place. Now, we will go out and meet 3 business owners to share with us their experiences, and I'm sure we'll benefit from their wisdom. Let's meet our 3 business guests.
Wama Hospital, located in Ongata Rongai with a total of 42 staff members, has been in business for the last 22 years. Having grown from scratch, the facility started as a small clinic and developed into a nursing home over time, and now it is a fully fledged hospital where you can access all the major services. The hospital offers theatre services, X-ray, laboratory services, inpatient and outpatient services, together with optical and dental services.
My name is Richard Ngombe, Director, Wama Hospital.
Having 2 outlets in Gongtown and Kiserian, within a span of 5 months lies Angel Baby and Kids Shop, which specializes in the sale of babies and toddlers products. With a dedicated team, high growth in sales, and a turnover of 3.6 million per annum, Angel Baby Shop has managed to meet customer demands and expectations on every level, from product variety to affordability.
Hi, my name is Grace Kiogora, founder, Angel Baby and Kids Shop.
Mirema School, located along Thika Road, Nairobi, is a Christian-based primary school offering the normal curriculum and special needs curriculum. They won the Biblical Entrepreneurship Award in 2020 and were able to increase partnerships all round and have an extensive growth in the number of learners and trainers.
My name is Nina Mutegi, CEO of Mirema School. This
is Business
and Money.
This is business and money.
Yeah, this looks like breakfast.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As you can see, our guests are already here. But before we continue, we want to take a short commercial break. So don't even think of changing the channel, because when we come back, we are getting nuggets that will be able to propel our businesses to go to the next level. Don't go away.
Business and money.
Wow, I think business people go through so much, and I presume you are not an exception. I don't know whether in the course of your running your business, you have had to need money. Certainly everybody needs money. Whether you've had to be in need of money, and how did you go about searching for that money? Or maybe for you as a doctor, as long as a patient comes, at least you are sorted.
Not really.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question. You know, maybe in the beginning, it was not easy when you start the business.
Okay.
And you know, you start the business, particularly maybe from my side, I say I started my business, or maybe my institution, in a very humble ground, a small clinic.
Okay.
Then we had grown up now to a fully furnished hospital which has everything. And
to level what? You know, I hear hospitals.
Level 4 now.
Oh,
we
okay.
started level 1.
Oh, beautiful.
Now we are in level 4.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But you have come from a very humble background, starting from level 1. You have grown up to now level 4.
Congratulations.
Yes. And we are expecting we are going to go to level 5.
Yeah.
So it was not easy during the start, because usually not many people could want to associate yourself, particularly financials, with an upcoming business. Until now we've grown in a certain level that even now banks started asking us.
Now they want you.
They want us. They started now checking our statements.
Okay.
Can we give you something maybe to any financial business?
Okay.
So then we applied. Then for the first time, maybe for my to be financed, I was just financed maybe about 500,000, which was a good money, because it helped me to buy some equipment and helped me to grow. So from there on, down the bank now gain confidence in us.
Yeah.
So now we can get even more money.
But how did you begin? Did you begin with borrowed money or you had your own money?
Basically, I started with borrowed money from an individual.
Okay.
Not from
an institution.
institution.
Yeah.
Some of my friends.
Okay.
Maybe from my cousin. He
Yeah.
lent me some money.
Okay.
A friend of mine lent me some money.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And also with the little saving that I had.
Okay.
So when I combined that, I was able to plan the business. Yes, that's how it started. So it got it maybe from individual.
Okay. Interesting. Grace,
Yes.
how old is your business, by the way?
My business is now going to 5 months.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So your baby business is also a baby?
Yes, it's also a baby.
So how did you get to begin it?
I was in employment
Okay.
for quite some time. I worked at the bank for like close to 12 years. And when I got out of the bank, I actually took early retirement.
Oh, okay.
That means I had some little money,
Yeah.
a package.
You know, Kenyans don't
Yeah.
say how much.
Yes, some little money. So when I got out of the bank, because I was clear, I really wanted to engage in business. And of course, I engaged in many other things. But finally, now I got into the baby business. So how I got financed is from the little package of the little money I had from the bank.
Okay.
And going forward, I also needed some more money. You know, sometimes the money is not enough and you realize you need some more money. So my family has also come in handy.
Okay.
And yeah, at this point, that is where I am. So now I'm working on my accounts, working on my books so that I can now get to the space where I can actually be called by a bank.
We will get back to that. You know, when you talk about I'm working on my books, I'm working on my accounts, we will want to know what is inside that working on. Maybe for Mirema School, you know, when you think about a school, it is a heavy investment. Because a school is not like starting a baby shop. You know, it is heavy on capital.
Yes.
And I don't know what your experience has been.
Interestingly, it's very similar to Wama Hospital and the baby shop as well.
Yeah.
The difference for me is I'm a second generation director.
Oh, okay.
So the school is 25 years old.
So somebody cleared the forest.
Indeed.
For you.
With a big axe.
Okay.
With a very big axe.
Yeah.
But listening to my parents, the story is very similar. They put in the money themselves, their own initial capital. They partnered with somebody else to, you know, grow and take things to the next level. Mirema School had challenges also. You know, they are part of our history. We can't do away with them. There were times we couldn't pay salaries. We had to take loans. I remember days when that would cause the family so much stress. You can imagine you haven't been able to pay salaries sometimes upward of 2 months.
Yeah.
Your suppliers are on your neck. And there are certain things we had to do to stop that from happening. We had to put a couple of things in place.
Okay.
And now we have reached a point where we're even able to borrow money from international sources.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I think I'm liking this. You know, you talked about books, and now she's talking about certain things we had to put in place. You know, the viewer wants to know what is this thing that they can actually do to be able to reach the level that you've gotten.
Okay.
Where you are now beginning to talk with a you know, with a swag.
Kujigamba kidogo.
You are even going international.
Yes.
I'm happy for what you have said about the inheritance of the school, which that is what is lacking maybe to most of our society, particularly in our communities and in Kenya. Because that relief that I think you're forward from the Hidis. Our Hidis, they also inherit their business.
And we take it to the next level.
So I take that point very positive, and I pray even my institution, Wama, that I can be inherited and then continue.
You know what? There are many things you can do to help that happen.
Yes.
And I think you need to start right from the beginning, where you start planning for the next generation to take over, because it doesn't happen by chance. It's very intentional.
It must be intentional.
In our family, it wasn't. I think there was a lot of push required from our parents, because for us, my sister and my brother, we are 3 of us in the family. we are like all children. My background was nursing, so I was working in healthcare. I was doing health psychology.
Yeah.
To convince me to come into the family business took many years.
Okay.
But now that I'm well and truly in it, I realize what a loss it would have been to go in and start something when I have somebody who has already done the groundwork
Was already
for
laid
me
the foundation.
that I can take to the
Yeah.
next level.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you.
Tell me, Grace, you know, you talked about the documentations and the books. I presume you already know what it is that you want to do.
Yes.
Can you break it down for us? Then we'll come back to Nina to tell us what it has taken. What are these things that she has also done?
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've discovered is that for financial institutions, in case you need the financing, of course, they'll not come financing a business. You tell them, I need 100,000. There are those things that they will look at.
Okay.
So they will look at what are your daily sales. So that is one thing that I've learned, that as I'm doing my business, as I sell those products that I'm selling, how am I accounting for that? If somebody paid through is it a cash transaction? Am I depositing the sales like on a daily basis? What am I doing to that income that I'm getting from the product? Because at the end of it all, if you do your counting, get your sales at the end of the day, make sure that you go bank, then have all those finances, have the records straight.
Yes.
Okay.
That way is when
It becomes easier.
Yeah, it becomes
So,
easier.
Grace, you don't say this is my business and the money is mine.
Yes.
And you make sales and you pocket it here. Then you go home to use it to buy bread for the children.
If you do that, you will fail.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Nina, tell us, you said there are things that you did that even made you to begin attracting international eyes. Can you please break it down for us? Tell us, this is what I did, number one, number
Yes.
two, number three.
Yes.
So that somebody viewing this show
Yes.
can actually leave the show knowing that I can also do 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And they'll be able to succeed like the way you are.
Absolutely. So Grace has started us off very well.
Okay.
Having documentation. I know in Mirema School, because we started as a family business, many family business owners make that mistake of taking the money from the school to buy the bread, to pay the school fees.
Yeah.
So the first thing is to separate the business from the family.
Okay.
Because otherwise, when you have them merged like that, people can take advantage of that situation. Because your employees, I remember initially when we started trying to do that at Mirema School, we would buy bread for the school. And now because the family lives on the same compound, the same bread goes to the house. So you can imagine someone can tell you 5 loaves went to the house when actually only 1 went to the house.
Actually, it reminds me, somebody said that businesses are vandalized
Yes.
by the owners.
Yes,
Okay.
that is it.
Yes, continue, Nina.
So when somebody comes to visit, you're tempted to give them something from the school budget. So
Okay.
you must separate the budget.
Yeah.
And then you must make sure the family has a budget. Because if you don't pay the founders, where are they going to buy bread from?
Yeah.
So if you don't give yourself a salary, how are you going to live? You'll be tempted to take from the business. So set the foundation right and pay yourself from the beginning.
And you know, that is a very, very tricky thing, Nina. I've always had people say, how do you even then know how much to pay yourself? Yes, I want to pay myself. Yes, I want to separate the business from me. How do I know that I can pay myself 50,000
Yes.
or 20,000 or 100,000?
I guess the starting point is to look at the market rate.
Okay.
Don't look at the high-end corporates, first of all. Don't look at maybe the high-end banking sector.
Yeah.
But do a little bit of groundwork. And even if your business can't pay you that amount every month, take the portion that you can pay yourself, but put it in as a debt.
Okay.
So that the business pays you at a later date when it picks up.
Okay.
Because you may not have the funds immediately.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that kind of plan, you may be reporting profitability where there's no profitability because you haven't paid yourself.
Yeah,
You haven't paid. I know, like for Mirema School, because the land belongs to the family, we never paid rent.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until recently we did our numbers and realized if it actually COVID triggered this.
Yeah.
If we were renting this property from somebody else, would we have survived COVID?
Okay.
Those are the hard questions you ask yourself. And we started paying rent.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow,
So
interesting.
we put the money into a separate account and we
Yeah.
started paying rent.
Okay.
So that is now what I'm talking about, separating the business from
Okay.
the family.
Okay.
Probably to add on what Nina is saying, like for me, what I've done with my baby shop, there are 2 right now. One thing I've invested is in a point of sale system.
Okay.
Whereby, like when I get stock, I feed in all the stock is in the system,
Yes.
and everything that is sold has to be posted.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, if you go run the reports, you'll find out how much was sold, what was sold, so that at the end of the day, when you're doing your physical stock and you're comparing with what is in the system, you're able to tell if there's an anomaly. So in terms of having proper systems in place, it really works. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. At this hospital, Daktari,
Yes.
what systems are you putting in place?
We have tried to put all kind of system in place, particularly in regulating of our account. And as maybe because of being regulated by the bank, because now when you want to get money from the bank, you have to do an audit account. They ask you for audit account for the last 3 years.
3 years, audited account.
Audit
Yes.
account, you have to have good statements, so you make sure that every coin that is coming onto the hospital, first of all going to the bank before we withdraw.
Okay.
Or we also put a system that every surprise paid through the check. We don't pay through cash or M-Pesa. That's our policy, so that we can be able to do a proper accounting and monitor our cash flow.
Okay.
So we also have an auditor who is also doing that work for us.
An external auditor or internal?
External.
Okay.
We cannot be able to hire an internal auditor.
Okay.
But we have an accountant
who is full-time.
Full-time.
Okay.
We're able to do accounting every day. We have a working system that is able to track any medicine that comes in.
Okay.
We have a track system that is able to know that every cash money that comes in. Particularly after the COVID has also opened our eyes a lot, because now we are using the M-Pesa system.
Okay.
Till number,
Yeah.
which is free to the client, is not paying anything.
It's not being charged.
It's not being charged.
Yeah. You know, 90% of Kenyans are in the micro level, you know, the very low end. And they desire to grow. They want to get to the levels where you guys are. They cannot afford an accountant to help them put the systems in place. The sad part is that they also don't know accounts. Is there something, Nina, you can tell that person at the micro level that can be able to help them, you know, reach where you are?
There are several things actually.
Okay.
Maybe the first one is, regardless of how small your business is, you're
Okay.
banking somewhere.
Okay. Yes.
Usually, or you should be.
At least your money should be somewhere, even if it is on the phone.
No, well, that is it. If it is on the phone,
Yeah.
make sure it is hitting an account somewhere.
Okay.
So it took us a while to realize that banks are looking at things like number of transactions.
Okay.
Many people don't realize small things like that. So you find maybe someone is collecting money directly on their phone, and then they transfer it to the bank at the end of the day as one transaction. Whereas if they had banked the same amount but in smaller transaction, it may attract, it might improve their credit rating so that they can get financing from the bank. I think for me, I realized business is mostly about relationships.
Excellent.
And having the right people around you.
So, you know, what I'm taking away is there is hope even for the micro guy.
Absolutely.
But what he needs to do is to ensure that the money reaches the bank.
Yes.
Grace, anything you can tell this micro guy who is saying, look, you know, I cannot afford these things that you guys are talking about, but I still want to grow. I want to grow. I want 5 years down the line to be able to get to another level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, we know sometimes systems can be very expensive, but there's still hope. You still have the books, the ledgers. Just make sure you're noting down everything, if it is your stock, your daily sales, your expenses, and what is the net, and what is being banked. So you don't have to have the system as you're starting, probably because maybe the investment may be too high. You can start from somewhere. Just have the books that you're having, your clear records on a daily basis.
I love that. I love that.
It's funny you say that. I was cleaning up the archive at school recently, and I saw the original books that used to be kept by the accountant.
Yeah.
And she was very meticulous and wrote everything down. And you're able to see the turnovers, you're able to see who had paid. So when we moved digital, that was where some of the issues started, because that data is easily manipulated.
Okay.
Yeah. But the original, the book, that
So the
can't be
digital
changed
is easily manipulated.
if you don't have a good system.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We need to be very accountable with the little thing that you have. The little thing that you have, then you'll be able to be entrusted with more. Even the Bible says that when you have be trusted with the little, God will entrust you with much.
More.
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, there is one Indian who told me, before your business passes 1,000 days, you have no business.
1,000 days.
Yeah, that's basically 3 years. Yeah, so I'm just trying to agree with you. Well, time has moved so fast.
So fast.
Nina, do you have anything that you want to tell us through your closing remarks?
I think maybe for me it's just to share a lesson from Mirema School for anybody who is still thinking of getting financing. Paying your debt is very important because the damage that it will do when you're listed on CRB or when one of the directors is listed on CRB can be very, very difficult to reverse. So I would say as you take the money, make sure you can pay it. So for example, look at how money comes into your business. As a school, we operate in terms. So when it's time to pay back, we pay on a termly basis rather on a monthly basis. Because on a holiday term, it would be a struggle. On a holiday month, it would be a struggle to pay. So look at the cycles, look at your pricing, and I know you'll be touching on this some more in future shows. Look at, have you priced correctly? Are you actually profitable? And if you are profitable, what is your margin? Be very clear about your unit costing. And that's something we also learned in recent years at Mirema School, going into the fees and breaking it down and saying, this is for this is for this, and then making sure you use it for that.
Interesting. Your closing remarks, Grace?
For me, what I would say is that I would encourage every person who is or who wants to engage in business. It's doable. Just go in. Sometimes we feel like we don't have so much to start. Just start with what you have and grow it gradually. And as you grow it and keeping your records and doing all that, you can now approach a bank for financing. And once you get that finance to grow your business, of course, you'll be at a level where you now know what are your needs, what are your requirements. And when you get that kind of financing, please make sure that you don't divert the funds to other things. Sometimes we Africans are really victims of that. You get a loan and then you realize, hey, I've not yet paid the loan. I mean, I've not paid my school fees, I've not done ABCD, and you divert the money to your other needs.
You even call your friends.
Yes, let's go. Yes, and you start lending your friends the loan. So let's be very honest with ourselves and with our businesses and just use the money for the right business here.
Okay. Daktari,
yes.
Any closing remarks?
My closing remark will be about relationship. Relationship, it cuts across all boards because if we talk about relationship, we are talking about the relationship between you and maybe your bankers, relationship between you and your clients, and also the staffs. You know, the staffs are internal customers also, as we usually say. They want to help you. So as you get a good relationship with your financiers, then your account, as she says, is always clean and good. Anytime you want to borrow money, you'll get it, and it will help you to grow your business.
Wow, excellent. Thank you so much. That has been Dr. Wangombe, Wama Hospital. Thank you so much for coming to enrich the business community with your wisdom. Grace Kiogora?
Yes.
Thank you. Please make sure Kenyans are still giving birth.
Yes.
Make sure they are properly.
Please, I will.
Nina?
Yes.
And as the Kenyans give birth, they are coming to your school.
Educate them. I will be there to educate them.
Thank you so much.
Thank
When they get sick,
yes, send them to you.
All right. Thank you so much. This is amazing wisdom. You're watching Business and Money. We are taking a short commercial break. When we come back, we will now meet an expert in the money lending business who will be able to give us nuggets on what it actually takes and what they look at, you know, as they appraise your application for financing, so that you can be better prepared even before you go there. Don't go away.
Business and Money.
Susan Situma is an SME banking specialist who helps CEOs in financial services sector to increase their competitiveness and deliver results. Susan has built expertise working with banks in Kenya for the last 14 years, and currently she holds the title Head of SME Banking at Absa Bank.
Hi, Susan. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Too. Good to see you.
Karibu sana.
Thank you
Karibu
for
sana.
having me.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
We have a number of people who actually are looking for money, and we've seen from statistics, it also shows that there are many who never qualifies.
Yeah.
So I just want to know how do you support businesses to grow? What are these products that you actually have that can be able to help me as a business person or the person who is watching to be able to build his business and succeed?
All right. That's a very good question. And you're right. Not very many people understand that they can come to the bank and access products that can actually support their business differently. So most of the people who come through the doors ask for a loan or an overdraft. Those are the two things they ask
just
for.
a loan and an overdraft.
A loan and an overdraft. Not realizing
so are there some other things?
Yes, not realizing there are other products. So we support solution businessmen holistically.
Okay.
So we've moved from just saying we're lending money.
Yeah.
So we have an access to finance pillar, which has money in it. It has your current account, how you're going to be transacting on a daily basis, accessing the digital platforms for your convenience.
Okay.
Accessing LPO discounting.
Okay.
When you have to go and get a local purchase order, right? So you can come with it to the bank. And as long as you've been banking and we can see your activity, you can be able to finance that for you so that we give you money up front.
Okay.
You go and perform on the contract. And then you pay us after you have been paid.
Okay.
So we can structure something like that.
Okay.
So there are quite a number of products that we do there. And you can also access a letter of credit. Maybe you're importing. And therefore, you need to have sort of security that the goods that come in are actually going to be in the order in which you wanted them. So I find a lot of Kenyans just have open contracts where you order something, whether it's from China, and then you're not safeguarding yourself as the purchaser.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So what you can do is if you get a letter of credit, we are able to agree on the terms of delivery. When it's delivered, then we pay.
So I don't have to send money in advance?
Exactly. You don't have to send money in advance. So we do a letter of credit to your supplier that then gives them comfort that, yes, the bank has the money and is going to pay them once they perform on making sure that they deliver the goods to you. But we don't just offer just funding. I think what we have learned as banks is we also need to give capacity building. So we offer training to entrepreneurs just to support them grow sustainable businesses.
Okay.
We offer support in accessing markets, networks. So we do have business clubs, and now we have the Women in Business proposition, where we are then supporting women be able to know how do they run their businesses sustainably. So we actually have a She Academy that we have introduced at ABSA for that. And access to network, access to information is the other one. So we try as much as possible to disseminate information about what's going on.
People think you are not very helpful as banks. What is it that you actually check? When you appraise me, when you appraise a borrower, what is it that you are checking?
So it's not always about money, but you also find those who have come and previously they've not had a good credit record. They've not been paying their loans wherever they are. Then you find they're delaying in payments. If you look at their statements, they're unpaid checks. They're not able to explain, you know, because you can have unpaid checks, but you can explain why you have them. And it makes sense, right? But some of them you just find it's about their character, their willingness to pay. So that's what we try and do an assessment of. So you find sometimes you already have multiple loans, so you do not have room to actually take additional debt.
Another loan because your business cannot afford.
Not unless you now restructure what you have and say, let me consolidate and take it over a longer period. Then that way you can be able to take on additional debt. So we review that. We also review if you are wanting to run before you can walk. Because there are those who want success overnight.
You know? We are Kenyans. We want to make it today. Actually, we want to have made it yesterday.
Exactly. So you find then you have to ask yourself, okay, have you really thought through what this implication will do? If you grow too fast, what happens? You know, probably just thinking through that whole plan. So we help with all that. And when you bring us your documents, especially when you bring us your statements, and your financials, the audited accounts or even just your management accounts. In there, we are able to tell some of these things.
Now, there is this person, Susan.
Yes.
They have appraised their business and they think that if they just acquire this one machinery, their business will be able to grow in leaps and bounds. But you know, before they get the machinery, the cash flow is not able to finance the repayment of the machinery. But if they get the machinery, they will be able to expand. So when you zero in on looking at the statements, and I'm telling you that this one machine, if I got it, my revenue and my profitability will shoot. And now you are basing your ability to give me the money on history.
Yes.
Don't you find that to be a disconnect?
I think it's a very good question. And we find a lot of entrepreneurs actually come through for funding for machinery, which is a good thing because it means they're expanding their business and they want to grow. One of the things I always tell the entrepreneur is, have you done your research? Have you made sure that the demand that you're now going to increase from the product that you're going to produce is actually going to sell in the market? That's one of the things you need to make sure that you do. And for hospitals, especially when they come and say, I need a CT scan. A CT scan is quite a specialized equipment and it's expensive. So if you're not going to be having a lot of people coming to utilize it, then clearly the return on that investment will not yes. Or then you need to term it out for a longer period, right? So I always say, do your research, understand the demand, show us that this is what this machine will do to your financials. In money terms, you know, if my sales will increase by 20%, but also realizing your expenses will also increase depending on if it's a machine that requires some inputs to come in, or maybe it requires some special skills in terms of maintenance. Is it locally? Because I find a lot of entrepreneurs prefer to import their machinery, but you need to have thought through, if it breaks down, what happens? You know, do we have local materials that can be able to act as parts for that machine? And if it's specialized, are there people who are able to service it? Because that's the risk we look at. Because now we are looking at the future.
Susan, entrepreneurs complain that, you know, when they make an application to the bank for money, it just takes forever. I don't know. You know, when you're applying, you think you'll get it in the next 1 week or 2 weeks. And then by the third month, money is not anywhere near. What is usually the problem?
So this is what I advise entrepreneurs to do. So when you come in and request for a facility, leave there knowing what will be required. There's a list of requirements that we have, and it's important that you have them and you have all of them. So if you have them, and normally I say the most important documents, first of all, for you to come with to the bank is your bank statements from all other banks, and then come with your management accounts if you have them. If you don't have them, it's okay. So that then we do a pre-assessment. A good person you find at the front who supports SMEs will actually look through and tell you, this is what we think you can qualify for, right? Then if you have all your documents, within 2 weeks, which is reasonable time frame, we should have already assessed and come back to you and told you you have a facility or not. Then you get an offer letter if you have. So for me, I think it's just make sure you're clear, have clarity on what is required and what are the next steps. So that then you can keep tabs with that.
And then now I get the money. Money is in my account, and of course I begin the process of repayment. With the slightest delay, maybe just a month, you are up in arms, you know, pursuing me with all your might to recover, sometimes even, you know, auctioning. I mean, why would you do that? And I mean, I find it to be very, very strange and a complete disconnect to the partnership that you purported to have.
Good question. So what I advise entrepreneurs is, if you know you're going to have, your payments are coming in late and you'll not be able to make your repayment on time, come early. Come early and say, I will not be able to make my payment next month. The reason is 1, 2, 3, I was expecting this payment to come from here, but it hasn't come, and therefore I expect a delay, right? If possible, put it in writing as a record that actually this you had already planned and you had actually come through and said, this is what will happen. If you're not able to do that, actually that's where now we're asking ourselves, in this mutual partnership, is it that you've forgotten us or you're hiding?
No.
What has happened?
Actually, we don't forget. We are very optimistic people. And sometimes we are basing a repayment on our payments also that needs to be made.
Yeah.
And then they don't come up to the last minute.
Yes.
So I don't think there will be a problem,
Yes.
but then there is a problem.
Yes.
But you always never want to understand.
I think the important thing is that relationship you have with your bank. It is so critical.
Okay.
Don't come pick a loan and then go. I also encourage the bankers that support entrepreneurs to actually keep a relationship where you're in constant communication, so that should something happen, maybe you don't think you need to tell the bank, but once you tell me something, once you tell me you lost a certain supplier, already it has an implication on your cash. So in my mind as a banker, I'll be thinking, okay, that could cause a problem. I mean, there are always areas where you'll need to talk to a manager and the manager is available for you. But I can tell you for a fact, coming after your property is the last resort.
Okay.
Remember when you came to us, I said cash is king. So we follow the cash, right? That is what is our primary review.
Okay.
So, because I also find entrepreneurs who come and tell me, hey, I have this plot, now can I get money? Not forgetting, the plot is not generating income. They need to show me how they're going to generate the income to pay the facility. So the security is always our last resort, not our first resort.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have anything else that you want to tell somebody who needs money?
Yeah.
And they are saying now, Susan is here and is working with money. Anything you want to just give us a parting shot?
I think for me, it's just have financial discipline.
Okay.
I think it's very important for an entrepreneur.
Okay.
There's a time to just sacrifice what pleasures you may want, and reinvest in your business, which is some of the things we look at, because it's part of your commitment to the business. So if you're already having a commitment, let's say you have a contribution towards what you then want. It's like you put your skin in the game. So in that respect, I actually feel, this is a business I want to be associated with, and I'll find a way to make sure that I can support it.
It's our desire at Business and Money to actually walk you through what it will take you to succeed in your business. We believe that you have a great passion to be a success, and we want to provide you the information you need, like what you've had today from Susan, useful information that can actually be able to propel you to go to the next level. And just in case you need more information, you need clarification about anything, please don't forget to contact us using the address that is given on the screen, or write to us on money@lanxafrica.com. We will be very happy and very pleased to actually be of support and of help to you in the days ahead. Now, our next episode, we are dealing with debt management, because now Susan has given you the money. We now want to look at what is it that you need to do to be able to manage that money. So we are actually after your success. I have been your host, DM Tanki, and you've been watching Business and Money, your authoritative wealth companion.
Business and money. We are all about your business. Business and money. Weka pesa mfukoni ukitaka kumake dough, and financial freedom ukitaka mawaidha.